The pricing for the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X have been leaked. This isn't official confirmation from Xbox, but the sources here are looking very, very good, and it looks like the prices are falling in line as to what people had previously seen. So we are about a month out here from the launch of the ROG Xbox Ally devices, and we don't have a price or pre-order day yet. We're only 10 days out or so from Tokyo Game Show. You could pretty much bet, I think, at this point that they are waiting for that to give us all of this information, where they're going to give us pre-order, they're going to give us pricing, they're going to give us a bunch of games that are going to be compatible with this thing and get you hyped up for it launching on day one. Plus, they're going to be in Tokyo and in Japan, which is a place that people love their handhelds, so it kind of makes sense to announce it there and try to get more people in Japan to play on the Xbox devices and get into the Xbox ecosystem, a place where they don't have a very big foothold whatsoever, and they need to improve upon that. And plus, you pick up one of these devices, you're fully integrated into that new Xbox user interface. But the pricing is going to play a major role. These handhelds are going up in price. We've seen the announcement of the Lenovo Legion Go 2, which has really pissed off a lot of people in terms of how expensive it is, starting at $1,100 going all the way up to like $1,500. They are targeting a premium market for that device, but you have to ask, do people really want these extremely expensive handhelds going over $1,000 when at that point you could start looking into getting a gaming laptop? The ROG Ally and the Ally X will have the two SKUs, and now we have some leaked pricing here, which will bring it more in line with the current handhelds and where they have been releasing in terms of their overall pricing. Again, this comes from Destin, who put out a video, said that he had some sources that corroborate this. Best Buy also sent some pictures of their point of sale that they are setting up here for these devices, where I'm assuming you're going to be able to walk in and see what they're all about, try them out and everything before you buy them. And the prices that they have recommended here, the MSRP, that I'm sure in the back end they've been talking to Microsoft and they're getting prepared to have these devices ready for people to see, is $550 for the ROG Xbox Ally and $900 for the ROG Xbox Ally X. Now, you have to be asking, what are the main differences between these two devices? Why is there a relatively big price gap between the Ally and the Ally X? And there are some big things here that do separate these two, and you can kind of see why there is that big price gap. The main one here is the AMD Ryzen Z2A, which is a lower powered chip, draws less power as well, potentially could give you some better battery life depending on the games that you are playing, and will give you worse performance comparatively to the Z2 Extreme. So that is probably the main thing here that does differentiate the two. The other thing is the RAM, with 16 gigabytes of RAM on the Ally versus 24 gigabytes of RAM on the Ally X, and it's LPDDR5 on the Ally and LPDDR5X on the X, and then there's 512 gigabytes of storage versus 1 terabyte on the Ally X, and a smaller battery as well in the Ally at 60 watt hours versus 80 watt hours on the Ally X. And those are some of the big things. There's also different ports here that may make a big difference for people, where the Ally has USB-C, micro SD, a 3.5 millimeter jack, and then the Ally X has USB 4, Thunderbolt 4 compatible USB-C, micro SD, and the 3.5 millimeter jack. So there are differences here, but that's a big price gap. That is something where you actually have to sit back and think about, is it worth me going up to the $900 and getting the Ally X? I think one of the big things will be it will future-proof you. You'll be able to have this thing longer before you do have to upgrade. And hopefully they do use that MPU on that chip that will improve the overall performance as things go along. It's not something that just gets put in there and then just never utilized well and basically becomes useless. Something we've kind of seen with the PSSR on the PS5 Pro. There haven't been some massive use cases for this thing yet, and we know going into the next generation they're potentially just going to be going over with the AMD solution anyway. So hopefully they do end up using that chip properly and giving you a better performance as the years go on with the Ally X. But that $900 for the Ally X definitely brings up the question as to, do people want to pay this amount of money for handhelds? The prices are seemingly going up as these new ones ones are coming out. The technology is getting better. The power is getting more. And these could kind of be your daily driver for how you play video games if you like having that portability factor. We've seen the portable market continuously grow. They kicked off with the Nintendo Switch in 2017, which kind of revitalized everything. The Nintendo Switch 2 is selling insanely well. So you can see these companies are looking at that and thinking, yeah, we want to get into this handheld market. Now, of course, at $900, you're not competing at all here with the Nintendo Switch 2, but a $550, you kind of are. You're not that much more than it. And you're going to be getting a much larger library of games that are going to run probably way better than a lot of games that do run on the Switch 2, although we've seen some great optimization on that handheld. So that one seems like a far better sell for Xbox and for Asus. But the Ally X900, I think you're going to see pushback from people thinking it is too expensive. And why would they go out and spend $900 on this handheld unless we start really seeing some big comparisons, some big breakdowns of games running significantly well? We've seen Doom the Dark Ages, and that one is running very good on the Ally X. I think with the chip inside of it, you're going to get a pretty decent lifespan out of this. Like, you're going to be playing games here for a few years on this handheld, and you're going to be able to get some good experiences from it. And then the whole Xbox experience that is going to be added in, how does that change the game in terms of the performance? Does it make games run better? And how many are going to be getting right away that full compatibility? Because we know they're opening up that compatibility program where it'll tell you, just like they do with the Steam Deck, whether a game does run well or not. Personally, I like my premium stuff. I would be interested in the Ally X. If we start seeing some good reviews, we start seeing some good breakdowns of games running well and they're doing stuff that over people's expectations, then definitely will have my attention. And the ergonomics of it, I think with the handles on the side will be a nice sell for a lot of people. But those prices, what we've seen, not shocked. It will be an interesting thing here to see the Ally X. How well does it do in terms of sales? And versus the Lenovo Legion Go, do you just save up another $200 and get an 8.8-inch OLED display with the same chip basically as the Ally X? So lots to look forward to here. It's a month away. Tokyo Game Show is coming. They're going to announce it there, I would assume. And I think at that point, they're also going to give us a decent slate of games that will be fully compatible here on these devices and with the new overall Xbox experience and dashboard and everything that they're putting in here with this fleshed out user interface that I think will be transferring over to all of Xbox devices at some point in the future. But I'm going to end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.